From the Oklahoma newsroom, this is a Thunder Update. I'm Jenny Carlson. Serge Ibaka is headed to see a specialist in New York for a look at his knee, and there's a report out that he may have a procedure done on that knee that would leave him out for an undetermined amount of time. Anthony Slater joins us on the phone, Thunder beat writer. Anthony, what do we know at this point about the situation with Serge? We know he missed the last 2 games with what was characterized as soreness in that knee. What do we know right now about his situation?
Well, we know obviously there's an issue, but not really sure what the severity of the issue is or the timetable, and I'm not even really sure the Thunder know at this point. As you said, he's going to New York, heading there right now to see a specialist. I think we'll know more in the coming days, but I don't think it sounds like it's a severe deal. We've seen him. He hasn't been limping around. He clearly hasn't been able to play, but I think if anything, it might be a precautionary type, maybe a scope type thing. Remember Westbrook had a couple scopes that didn't keep him out a ton of time. I think the goal is to have him back before the playoffs, and they're going into this meeting in New York hoping to get him back maybe a little bit before the playoffs, or at least when the postseason starts.
Yeah, Anthony, this was sort of the last of the guys to not have injury. We'd seen Kevin Durant go down, Russell Westbrook go down, on and on and on the list goes. And Serge Ibaka had played every game up until 2 games ago, and now his future is uncertain. But he did play through some pretty serious pain last year in the playoffs. Does that lead you to believe that even if he is undergoing some pain, feeling some pain, that he may be back out there on that knee even as it continues to heal?
You got nice, right? That's what he said when he came back after the playoffs last year. I mean, we know how tough this guy is. I think, like I said, I think the goal going into this is how can the Thunder make him as healthy as he can for the playoffs. I don't think they're going to rule him out. It's tough timing though, because as you mentioned, he's played all this season, but really he kind of struggled in the first half, but he's been very good since the All-Star break. I think he's averaging about 17 and 9. 3 blocks per game. He's been great, and for him to go down in this time is tough. But they do get Kevin Durant's supposed to come back probably by the end of this week, so that'll help ease the burden, especially because he can play a little power forward.
Yeah, and you mentioned easing the pain, and I would think that also easing the pain is that trade deadline deal that brought Inez Kanter in, and the fact that you also have Mitch McGary, who's played well. They may not have a defender like Serge Ibaka in that big man group, but at least they've got some bodies that they can throw out there. Is that maybe a little salve on this whole thing, that they do have that depth in that big man area?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, where I think you mentioned it, where I think it hurts them the most is defense. I mean, the guy has led the NBA in total blocks, the last 4 seasons, and he's leading it right now. He won't end the season, obviously, leading that if this injury keeps him out. But I think you get hurt defensively. But what Kanter has done, what Steven Adams has shown, I think they're probably moving forward that you're going to see a Kanter-Adams starting lineup for good. I think they'll be able to get enough offensively. Mitch McGary's a spark. He can get you a double-double on random nights. I think they'll be okay. And though they're still kind of fighting the Pelicans for this 8th spot, I still favor them to get to the playoffs. Where you worry about this is just, in this snake-bitten season, can they get everybody healthy for the first time come playoff time?
Yeah, and I guess then the last question is, can they get everybody healthy with enough of a running start into the playoffs that they're maybe starting to get some continuity, or is that just a pipe dream? Is the bigger goal to just have everybody healthy by the playoffs, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, yeah, you'd love, maybe 10 or so games a week to get everyone running, figuring out exactly how the rotations are. But this is such a patchwork season. I mean, there may be games in the playoffs where you got to go without Ibaka, or we're not really sure about Durant at this point. I mean, he is healthy, he's back, but he's had so many setbacks this season. It's just going to be a roll of the dice, really, and we'll see who's good to go come mid-April.
Yeah, it is a day-to-day situation with these Thunder, it seemed like, this season. A game tonight, 7:30 at Dallas. We'll get to see these Thunder again without Serge Ibaka. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.